Welcome to the Community Shall Be Restored. I'm your host, Prophet Cedric Banks, along with
Prophet Banks.
and we have another tremendous show for you today. We have a tremendous community leader here in the city of Detroit that's doing an outstanding job. That has a heart for the people, that loves the people, and that I believe that people loves him. Welcome to the Community Shall Be Restored. Detroit City Councilman, District 1, James Tate. Welcome to the Community Shall Be Restored.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
All righty. And, Councilman Tate, you're in District 1. And we have a very, very strong political audience out there and a lot of voters out there, out of the 8 to 10 million people that look at the show. Where is District 1 at? Where's the boundaries at of District 1?
District 1 is far northwest Detroit. We're talking about to the northern border, it's 8 Mile. To the west, you have 5 Points and Telegraph. You drop down to the south, you have 96 in Fullerton. You go over to the east, you have Ardmore. You're going back over, you take that up to New Nichols, go over to the Southfield Freeway, and back up to 8 Mile. I used to do that very well during the campaign. I used to be able to do it in reverse.
All right. Wonderful. I thank God for you, James Tate. Councilman Tate, we go back, you spoke in my church, and I think in 2009 when you got elected, you spoke in my church, so did Councilman Spivey, and it's a blessing to be back here with you again. Councilman Tate, how can the people in the community get their hands on you? Are you doing things out in the community? Are you out there, out and about? Do you have any events that's going on out there in District 1? Are you putting on things? If you are, let the people out there in the community know.
And so one thing that we do, we make sure that we are very community intensive. I host on a regular basis, annually, at least 3 community meetings a month. So we have
3 a month.
3 a month.
Wow.
So we have
I've never heard no
it's a lot of
mayor's
work.
office or anyone say that.
A lot of work. We don't have in District 1. We don't have a satellite. We don't have a satellite office. So I thought, for us, it wouldn't make sense. You end up purchasing or leasing a building, and you're there, and no one really showing up. And so what I have are satellite hours. So those are 2 communities. Every first and third Wednesday of the month, I meet over at the Motor City Java and Tea House, which is in Old Redford. And I think it's important for us to sow seed into one of our businesses as opposed to going to a sterile building that really does not benefit the community. So we
First
do that
and what?
every first and third Wednesday. And that is from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Okay.
And then every 4th Saturday of the month, we have what's called a District 1 community meeting, where we bring together everybody, and we travel. We move that one around because we want people, in this neighborhood to know what it looks like over here, and people who live over here to know what it looks like over there. And so we've been able to, over the past 3 years of doing this.
Now you say you travel. Do you travel and it stay in the District 1 area?
Oh yes,
it stays in District 1.
Stays in District 1
Okay.
because we want to bring the people in the community together, and that's from 10 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. So these aren't short meetings either. And what we do is we bring in individuals from various levels of government or within the community who affect their lives. It's not just me standing there with a microphone saying, love me. It's about really how can we improve what's going on in your neighborhood. And you all have a better opportunity to solve problems if you talk together, because any situation that you're going through, your neighbors either went through it or will be going through it, or they're going through it right now. So we do that. They get 3 community meetings a month, and I've been so honored and blessed to be in this district. We average at the satellite hours about 40 people.
Wow, that's good.
It's huge. From 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. We got about 40 people who show up at these meetings. And on the Saturday meetings, we have about 100 people that meet.
Wow.
Which is tremendous. And again, I think it's because it's not about me. It's about what can we do to improve the community.
And you're bringing resources out that can meet their needs.
Absolutely.
It ain't just about you.
It's not about me. So at the next meeting that we're going to have, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans going to be presenting. We also have a mobile where teams can sign up for jobs over the summer. We have a number of things like that. So these are the type of things that we like to provide to the community. But then we also like to give them a legislative update on what's going on in the city. What have we worked on in that last month, those 30 days or so since you saw us last. And one of our big legislative wins was this issue of medicinal marijuana location, these dispensaries in the city. And I sponsored that legislation. It was just out of control. And we still right now, waiting until March 1st when the ordinance goes into effect, but it essentially says that you won't see what we see today within the city of Detroit. It besieged the city. It's without a shadow of a doubt an oversaturation. And unfortunately, what you see are individuals who live elsewhere outside of the city of Detroit, and they're taking the opportunity and really, instead of trying to fight for the right to have these dispensaries in their city, they wanted to fight for the right to have them in the city of Detroit, because we were preoccupied with so many other challenges. But we're going to see a big difference with this particular ordinance that we have in place. And again, it goes into effect March 1st. We've been talking with the police department, building and safety department, to make sure that the enforcement is where it should be. So we can always have a piece of legislation. We have all kind of laws, but if it's not enforced, then it really doesn't make a difference. So we're at the point right now where we're looking to make sure that enforcement is just as strong as the ordinance.
So these are some of the things that you're working on now, that you have on the agenda, that you're working on now.
Yeah, we've actually, thank goodness, we've been able to put that one behind us. Now we're just pushing for that enforcement. Right now, for me, it's about making sure that people have access, people have information, people are empowered, that we're able to unify people. Everything in my office is built upon that. How do we build better communities? I'm going over, after I leave here, I'm going over to Bunch Elementary. I have a group of young men, these are special needs young men that I mentor every month. I've been doing that for 3 years. Yeah. That's not even in my district. The teacher.
Well, I know that you have a heart for the people, because I remember when I used to come out to you and former President Santiago Jenkins meetings at the hospital. Was it the hospital?
Yeah, that was one location. Yeah, because we used to move that around.
You all used to be with the youth, work with the youth.
The youth violence prevention.
Exactly. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah. So that is definitely a blessing. And Councilman, I just want to just say this. I've watched you and Councilman Spivey grow over the years as councilman. I've been looking at Channel 10. I watched how you all grow. I remember when you all came in, you were really quiet and things like that, but you were wise. You didn't get in the media much. You were listening. You had your your thinking hat on. You didn't get in the media much, but I could see you all were taking in. You were learning. You were growing, and now you all, both of you, are starting to blossom, and you're starting to develop. I've been watching that spiritually. That's how you're growing and developing and maturing. And one great thing I can say about you, you definitely got a heart for the people. There's a true, genuine heart for the people. You're not in a position for the money and the fame and the love and to be loved and praised and all that. You got a heart for the people. Now, one of the things what I wanted to mention, during these meetings, are the people able to voice their opinion? Oh, absolutely. Do they have a voice when they come out to the meeting?
Absolutely. We let the presenters give about a 15, maybe 20 minute, 10 minute, whatever they need. But there's always a portion of that is left for Q&A. Mm-hmm. And what's even more important than that is that we want to make sure that they have connectivity after that. So we have a list of their contact information that we demand them to provide us, not just some lower level individual who may have send them to a voice note. We're talking about that particular individual. Now, I don't know if we'll have the direct contact to Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, but we'll at least have someone within his administration that the residents can reach out to. Because again, a lot of times people don't know who to call. Right. And that's why you may not get the amount of participation that you want. We're here today at Cook. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we're here is because they called the community and said, hey, we want you all to come here. Right. We need your help. And so now it's about defining what does that look like, because we have so many gifts and talents out there in the community, and unless we really identify what help we need or what are the needs that are out there, then all of that potential good work is left out there not tapped. So, yeah, that's what
We're here today with Detroit City Councilman James Tate, District Number 1. Councilman Tate, Councilman Tate, you used to be with the Detroit Police Department, right?
Yes, sir.
What was your role with the Detroit Police Department? For those out there that didn't know that.
So I was not a sworn police officer. I always let people know that because I
Okay.
give all the kudos, credit, and anything else I can give to those men and women who went through the academy and they were out on the street and running through and running to crime and scary situations when others are running away from it. I was hired to work in the Office of Public Information, and so I was the second deputy chief. So get a badge and all that stuff.
Wow.
But I was a civilian.
right over there, 30 years. Detroit police officer.
That's the real police. I always say that. That's the real police. I just played one on TV. But the reality is my job was to do whatever I could to try to get the information out to the public that could help the real police solve these crimes. And working with the media is so tricky because they will give you some bad information, or they'll try to use anything they have to get a story out. My job is try to be the barrier, because there may be something that we don't want out there. There may be some information that's going to hurt the officers in solving these crimes. There may be some good information that we need out there. So I really took that very seriously. And without a doubt, I think that helped with my city council race, because people had a face that they were familiar with, and many people trusted. But it was a very tough job. But again, hats off to the men and women of the Detroit Police Department and any law enforcement agency that again put their lives on the line on a daily basis. That do things that many of us would not do.
Councilman Tate, we got 2 minutes left. Tremendous interview. What was some of your accomplishments in Detroit City Council? And you are in your, sixth year?
Second term.
Second term?
Yep.
6 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, I think the biggest win thus far has been the medical marijuana ordinance.
Okay.
It was huge. We have not seen yet the effects of it as a result of the enforcement that goes into effect March 1st. But that was tremendous because it took about 2 years to put that together. But then outside of that, I think building trust within the community, that was huge. Like you said, you don't hear a lot of council members who have 3 community meetings, and it's
No, you don't.
to open up.
You don't hear that. You don't hear that. That's correct. Councilman Tate, is there a phone number where the people can reach you, or email, or a website where the people can get in contact with you?
The best way to get in touch with me, call my office, 313-224-1027. We have a pretty long email address. It's councilmembertate@detroitmi.gov. We are very accessible. If you have a community meeting that you need us to come out to, want us to come out to, we'll absolutely do that.
Wow. All right. We thank Councilmember James Tate, District 1 today, for being here on the Community Shall Be Restored. Bless your heart, Councilman. My man.